John Lilly, Independence Patriots. John, you guys were off, hadn't played out here since the Liberty game, off 21 days now. It was 21 days since that game. Could you have envisioned a shutout and a 42-0 win coming off of that, or did you know because of the work you put in?
No, I tell you, it's a real. I'm really proud of the team. I mean, we did not have half our team for 2.5 weeks, and we haven't played a football game in 3 weeks. So I really didn't know how we were going to respond. So I'm very proud of them. I'm proud of the coaches because I know there's a lot of teams that's going through it, but it don't make it easier for you. And to try to motivate kids for 3 weeks and not play a football game, and try to keep the grades up and try to keep them motivated, and that's a tough job. And I'm lucky that I got great coaches, and they really did a good job keeping the kids motivated.
And to not have them for 2.5 weeks and come out and pitch a shutout like you did tonight, that has to be a good feeling. I mean, it looked like everything you wanted to do on offense, you got it done.
Well, I think we were kind of mad at ourselves. I think the team, we lost 2 games, but in those 2 games, we turned the ball over 9 times in those 2 games. And I think we were just kind of mad at ourselves as a team. And we really wanted to come out and just kind of prove that, we're not a bad football team. It's just we can't turn the ball over. So I thought they played hard, and the defense played hard tonight. And, Gene's got a good young team. You can tell they're very well coached. They're a typical Nicholas County team. They don't make a lot of mistakes. You got to play football to beat them, and we just got some big plays.
Well, anytime you can beat a Gene Morris team, you know that he's going to have them ready. And
yeah,
they were coming in off a win.
Yeah. Well, I was concerned about that too because, I figured they'd be really motivated coming off a win, and they beat a decent team last week, and but Gene's teams are always very fundamentally sound. If you're going to beat them, you got to beat them because they're not going to beat themselves. So, I felt like we beat a good football team tonight. They're just young. They're like us. They're real young.
Atticus Goodson with a couple of big boy runs tonight. Talk about his run. I think he had one that was plus 50-yard run. One was 94 here late in the game. The home run ability he gives you, and which is a good analogy for him because he's a baseball guy as well. But the home run ability that he gives you has to be something that you can rest your hat on if nothing else is working.
Well, yeah, I mean, anytime you got a kid that's one of the top players in the state, he's got to be maybe top 3 juniors in the state for sure. Every time he touches the ball, you got a chance to score. And, it's just like when you came in after the Liberty game and you said, well, how did they stop him? And I said, well, he still had about 300 yards total offense. But, he's a great kid. You've got to know him, and most people in southern West Virginia that know him pull for him because he's just a good kid. He's not a mean kid. He's not an arrogant kid. He's a good kid.
I think when your opponents say good things about you, that's a pretty good sign, isn't it?
He don't run his mouth. He just plays football and then shakes your hand after the game. Probably want to play pool with you or something.
What about the physicality he runs with? He showed that tonight on his first touchdown, throwing a defender up. On the second one, he showed off some moves there, and also he said the ref kind of helped him there. He kind of used him for.
The ref gave him good block. Well, I tell you, he's worked a little bit in the weight room. The last, since we come off, the break from, in the summer where we didn't get allowed to lift any weights or anything, and I think it gave him an opportunity for the first time to get in the weight room because he's a 3-sport guy. He doesn't really get in the weight room as much as I would like him to, but he got a good, he had a good opportunity to get in the weights, and I think it made him stronger. And sky's the limit for the boy.
John, your quarterback tonight. I mean, he told me he was in quarantine for a while over the last 2 or 3 weeks. He comes out tonight with 2 rushing touchdowns, a nice pass to Cyrus Goodson. Like he never lost his timing at all with that young man. Just talk about his play tonight and where he's gone from maybe the beginning of the year to where he is now.
Well, he's been one of the best surprises of our football team. His maturation in the last year as a person and as a leader is what I'm proud of the most. Anything we get out on the field, is just gravy. But, he's led this football team. I mean, if we have to have people picked up to get to practice, he drives and picks them up. I mean, he leaves as soon as school's out to go pick up 2 kids because they can't get here because we only have half kids here and half not. And, his leadership ability has been great. I'm really proud of him. I'm happy for him because he paid his dues. He wanted to be quarterback, and he waited his time, and it was his time to shine, and he's made the best of it.
I think you told me you worked with him quite a bit over the last since you took the job, right?
We've butted heads. Yeah, we've been butting heads for about 2 years.
Oh, butting head. Okay.
Yeah, on technique. Not it's no one ever taught him how to throw the ball, and his technique was so bad. So it's good having coaches like Coach Grog and Joe Dean and Coach Cuthbert and those kind of guys that can pitch in and help work on stuff like that.
Is the his running part of the offense maybe lost in the fact because you do have Atticus, you got some other guys with some speed. Maybe people lose the.
Lockett.
Do you think that's kind of lost in the?
Yeah, I mean, he runs the team really well. I mean, he runs the offense really well, and I'm like I said, anything his leadership ability this year has been pretty good, and we kind of got a father-son relationship, and that's what we work on more stuff off the field than we do on the field.
And you mean as a man?
Right.
Got you. Cyrus Goodson, he's really come on these last 4 games or so as a receiver. I think he told me over at Shady it was his first touch with, that touchdown pass that he caught over there. I think he's got 6 now. Talk about where he's at now in the offense. I mean, he's really come on.
Well, he's a threat, and Trey's a threat too. I mean, we feel like both our wide receivers on the outside has great speed, and we really want to try to get him back in, get him in the offense as much as we can. But they were playing a safety high, so that's why we ran so much tonight, because there was no way we could throw. They took that away from us. So, we just did what they gave us. But Cyrus has, he's like his brother. He's a home run threat. Anytime he touches the ball up at Petersburg, I think he had like 5 catches for like 100 and some yards. So he's done a good job.
Your defense tonight, obviously, with the shutout, you got a guy like Logan Phelan. I know that you told me before you'd like to be able to play him more on offense because he's really good, but you've got a lot of weapons. Here's a kid tonight, he played really well, exceptionally well on defense tonight for you.
Yeah, and I tell you, he's got, with Isaiah out, he got a lot of reps at quarterback for the last 2 weeks, and, in preparation for next year. So, he's a very cerebral kid. He understands football, and he's a hard worker. He's more serious than the rest of them. And, I've already had 2 or 3 colleges call me wanting to know what grade he's in and who he is. So, he's putting his name out there.
Atticus said you were going to shave his head over a bet. Yeah, I think the bet was 30 plus, or you won the bet. Are you going to do it?
Well, first of all, Atticus made that bet. Coach Lilly did not make the bet. So, he's prematurely bald anyway, so it probably won't be too hard to do that. But, we'll address that on Monday. So.
Well, his brother got a cut. You can't
brother looks like Joe Dirt.
With
that haircut.
I gave him Trevor Lawrence. That's a little bit better than you're doing.
He came in with cowboy boots and shorts and a mullet. So now you know what I'm working with.
Yeah. You got Chapman on next week, and this map's been up and down and all around. Do you feel like you need to the rest of the way until the playoffs? You feel like you're going to need to start playing some teams?
Well, we're going to try. We're trying to get in some games. We've bounced back and forth with Chapmanville and Herbert Hoover and Man and everybody's just calling behind the scenes trying to schedule ahead, and it's almost impossible, Dave, because as soon as you get one thing scheduled, then we look on the map today and Logan County's gold. So I can tell you it's very frustrating for the coaches. We're happy we get to play, but the wear and tear of trying to get these games in is tough on your coaching staff.
Well, it's got to be tough mentally as much as taxing physically. Just the fact that you got to look at that map every day to know what's going on.
Well, and we feel like we're losing some traditional rivals. We Wyoming East and Independence like playing each other in sports, and West Side and Independence like playing each other in sports. We're close, and we hate losing those games just because of small rivalries. They're not huge rivalries, but they're only 30 minutes away, and we enjoy playing them. So losing them next week, kind of put a damper on what we want to do next week. But No, we're going to play Chapmanville next week, and in fact, it's going to be kind of crazy. We're going to play 2 quarters of JV before the game because they have not been able to get a single JV game in this year because of all the things in Logan County. So he agreed to come up here and play us here, and we're going to play two quarters of JV ball, and then we're going to play a varsity game. So it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, it definitely will. John, I appreciate the time as always.
All right.
Thank you.